Hey beauties, we are Alicia and Nicole from Positive Image. We are hairstylists, salon owners, and business coaches here to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of the beauty industry. We are sharing our secrets on creating a salon that thrives. So let's dive in.
Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Alicia.
We're like morning people, not morning people. We like to do solo work in the morning, but we also quite enjoy each other, so sometimes we do this in the morning. I think it just makes it more funny.
But our half sleepy conversation banter
Yeah.
that we slip up on things so we make each other giggle
Yeah.
or yawn.
Okay. Anyways, today we're going to talk about cash flow because the fact of the matter is majority of businesses close in that first year because they don't understand their finances. They don't understand their numbers, and they don't understand how all of it works month to month, day to day. So I think it's a pretty big conversation that a lot of people also like to avoid. You know, it's like, oh, if I just don't look at my bank statements, if I just don't open that envelope, if I just don't do my taxes, like all of the problems will just go away. But they don't. You need to just handle it head on, sit down. I don't know. Take whatever it is you need to make the experience calmer for you and just do it.
Well, I think creating systems is really important. Like have a system of
Mhm.
how you pay your bills. When do you pay your bills? Like when do you look at your budget? When do you look at your bank account? Like if you are an erratic and doing it all over the place, that's not going to be good. It's not going to be healthy because it's going to put your mind in this place of anxiousness or frustration or thinking about other things. But if you have a I'm gonna freak out between 1 PM and 3 PM about where my business is at, and then after 3 PM is over, I can, like, go for a walk and, like, get this off my mind, but schedule your freak out or schedule your budgeting or schedule your, like, finance time.
100%. So today we're going to talk a bit about like what it is, systems, but also exactly what you're saying there is some mindset too. I think I want to jump into mindset first.
Okay.
And then we'll get into more structured things.
Okay.
I think we've all, maybe not. No, I won't say we all. I would say you and I, and especially you are our mindset person. But we've definitely seeked out mindset theory or mindset coaching and just how all of that works. And there's so much of it out there, and there's so much, especially on money mindsets.
Mhm.
And I think we always want to think that it's kind of woo woo. To think, well, if I just manifest it, or if I just have happy thoughts, like I'll be a millionaire. And it's like, well, yes, but also it doesn't work quite like that. But if we're managing to calm ourselves down about the things that do stress us out, our brain waves are then in a better place to bring us what we want versus always bringing us the thing that we're stressed
Mhm.
about. Because that's in simplest theory, that's what it is. If you stress about it, that's what you're going to get more of. If you're stressing about positive, then you're going to get more positive.
So the body doesn't know when it comes to trauma or anything, the body doesn't know what's a thought and what's actually happening to you at that time. And so you get the same sort of like, I'm running from this tiger feeling if you're thinking about something traumatic or whether that traumatic thing is happening to you in that moment. So, with that kind of thought process in mind, and you're always thinking about, if we're talking about money, which we are today, if you're always thinking about, man, I am $40,000 in debt, the body still thinks debt, debt, debt. And so manifesting something isn't necessarily about having the positive thought. It's allowing your body to get out of this fight or flight way and into a place of gratitude and resilience and calm. And as soon as we can calm down our heart rate, as soon as we can calm down our breath, as soon as we know that we're safe from that tiger, then that's when the positive side of manifestation starts. And so weirdly, thinking about how much money you owe or how much debt that you have can actually, unfortunately, attract more debt, less clients if you're trying to generate income or money. And so getting into a practice of gratitude, first thing in the morning or last thing at night before you go to bed, and let your subconscious mind sort of take over and figure out ways that you can either generate more income or that you can be in a state of gratitude, not for the clients that you don't have or the money that's not coming in, but for the money that is coming in. So your is it focus goes where attention goes attention goes where focus
Oh.
flows?
I can't
Yeah.
remember either, but I know what you're saying. Y'all know what we're saying. If you pay attention to it, all the things are gonna flow there.
So if you're paying attention to your debt, it's gonna flow to your debt. If you're paying attention to, like, "You know what? I love this client. They tip me well. It's such a joy to have them in my chair where we're laughing, and when it comes time for them to pay the bill, it's not this awkwardness that they pay happily. They love spending time with me." You're gonna attract more of those people. If you're focused on, like, "This person is draining me, and they don't tip me, and I so am happy when that person walks out my door that they're gone from my life for the next 6 weeks," then you're gonna attract more of those people into your life, and it doesn't matter whether it's a human, whether it's money, whether it's animals, a love partner, it is all the same thing. It's the feeling that is what is going to manifest things rather than the the physical thought of just being happy. Being happy or being gratitude creates the feeling and it creates abundance, and that is what helps manifestation.
Yeah. Love it. So two things that just made me think of. One, first is that that's why a lot of positive mindset thinkers preach so much about gratitude. Because when you take the time to actually think about the things that you're grateful for, that naturally puts your brain waves and your thoughts and feelings into a more positive, happy, joyful, good, calm kind of feeling because you're thinking about those things. Um, Even more so, I feel like I've heard a few things recently, a few talks recently about, I think athletes are always the go-to when we think of, manifesting your wins. And I think often, at least for me, sometimes I kind of go back to like, oh, well, you just got to think the win. That's all they're doing is thinking about standing on the podium with the gold and winning. But it's not actually the win, it's the work. So, like, think of like sitting down and visualizing a positive way that it feels with working with your team, working with your numbers. Like, if you're anxious about looking at your cash flow, imagine yourself sitting there with your coffee and like a smile on your face and how calm it is and looking at the numbers and making it all make sense. And I get that this can feel wildly off base for a lot of people in the beginning, but the more you do it, that's what your brain remembers.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of you can retell a story 20 times, but if you change it along the way, your body will only remember how you tell it in the end.
Mhm.
It believes that as fact, even if you've literally changed the whole thing.
And I think with what you're saying there too, like, sitting there visualizing, like, going through the numbers with a smile on the face, if you wanna generate more business into the salon, you could even do the same thing of, like, pretend you're at the and you're in the color room mixing color, or you're sitting there being, like, just taking your break and listening to the sound of people in the salon being happy, having that, like, proud mama moment of, like, all of my chairs are full and I get to sit in the back and enjoy a coffee. The team, like,
Yeah,
so just it's getting into the feeling of the thing is really, I think, what you're speaking about. And it's so true with I love the analogy that you're
100%.
using about athletes because that is what they do. They visualize so if it's a, say, track athlete and they're running the 100-meter, they visualize that 100-meter step by step of how their body feelings, the movement, staying between the lines, the feeling of going through the when we were kids, we used to have the rope, but, like, being the first one past the finish line of, like, what that feeling feels like, the joy of what, like, I just won a gold medal in the Olympics or whatever it is, but it's the feeling of the thing.
Love it. Okay. So I think we got a quick little reset on mindset. Now, what is cash flow? Cash flow is just your day to day, like, what is your money doing? Where's it living? Is it sitting in your bank account but accounted for? Is it sitting in your bank account just staying warm and cozy and keeping your mindset confident? And so obviously your bank account is constantly changing because there's deposits and withdrawals and it's constant. And then we also have different spaces, right? We have different accounts, we have credit cards, we have loans, there's so much different stuff. And some people have different revenue streams as well. So there's a lot of different factors to go in there. More or less that's a big part of it, but also on the bigger side is actually knowing the cash flow from knowing the cash flow from a stance of what needs to come in, what needs to go out. Because looking at your bank statement just shows in that moment, but it's not accounting for what you actually owe later that week or what you're
Mhm.
expecting to come in.
So how would you say cash flow is different than, a budget?
I'd say budget's high level, big picture. Um, because sometimes it doesn't feel as organic uh, to match a budget with a cash flow, right? Like the numbers aren't going to be exactly to the cent
Mhm.
when you set out a budget.
So the budget is the projection and the cash flow is the reality?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's your actual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to get clarity around that, because if a lot of people are new in business or not so new in business, it's really good to have this foundation and understanding of what each thing means too, because when you deal with an accountant or other, like, financial places, they're gonna ask you for things, and in the back of your mind, you might be like, "What the bleep are they asking me for, and where do I find this?"
Yeah, 100%. No, that's a great clarity, which sometimes I forget to clarify on. So yes, your budget's gonna be your projection, what you hope to, um, receive in revenue, as well as what you hope to, spend in expenses.
Mhm.
And then your cash flow is the actual of what happens on the day-to-day, basis, with keeping in mind what you have budgeted as well as what you should be expecting to come in and out. So from that, I'm gonna go into some, I guess, structure and systems. So I think the first thing that you were talking about was a day-to-day tracking
Mhm.
sheet, which helps it just helps itemize it, like the things that you are spending money on and what you expect to be coming out. Because you have your fixed bills and you have your variable bills. So it's always changing that way too, right? Sometimes, you're out of supplies, you're out of color, so you need to buy stuff. Um,
And how you can do that is if you on your phone, you can keep a notes section and just list it day by day. You can make a, like, Google spreadsheet or a spreadsheet that you can access on your phone. So every time that you spend something, just make a note on it. And I get that during the day, it's hard to just be like, "Oh, let me just grab my phone and do a note." But at the end of the day, you can almost create your own routine of like, right, I paid the window washer, I bought my clients coffee, and then if you put those kind of small numbers in that you can either give to your accountant or put into your budget or your cash flow sheet later, it makes it a lot easier to remember than a week, a month later going, "What was this $5 charge for?"
And Nicole, I think you've mentioned a few times that you do an even like a whole nother step up where you just make a voice note. You're just like, "Hey Siri, can you record this, this,
Yeah,
and this?"
I love my anything that's easy and efficient because if I am a goldfish where if I don't do it right then and there, I will forget. So voice notes, quick notes, anything like that. I send myself text messages all the time with like these little reminders.
So, day to day, just doing something to make note of it, especially in the beginning when you feel like you have no control over your cash
Mhm,
flow. And then I would say once you do get control over your cash flow, have a day once a week where you're actually sitting down and looking at these things and cross-checking and putting information into where
mhm.
and cross-checking with your budget. So, has your actual for the previous week made sense with your budget? Are you over? Are you under? And also being under doesn't mean, yeah, you get to spend more. It means it means we're working towards the Nicole goal of having a rainy day fund for our business, which is having your 3 months set in the bank account. So you don't stress every month, which is a whole nother thing, which also is great for mindset of like, if that's our goal, get get us so that we don't actually think about it and worry about money every day. Because I think most people, whether it's in our personal lives or our businesses, we are living paycheck to paycheck. And if we're if we don't have that extra in our bank accounts as salon owners, we're technically living paycheck to
Mhm,
paycheck. And that is
mhm.
stressful. And then we get into this rabbit hole of a negative mindset and we're struggling to get out of it and struggling to figure out how to do the other things. The next thing is to know your numbers and like have a look at your P&Ls and your balance sheets. And what you're looking for in this situation is to look for like, do you have enough revenue coming in to cover your expenses? And if you don't, are there ways that you can increase revenue without increasing expenses? And so, more specifically, I mean, increase your revenue without hiring a
Right.
person.
For those who don't know, P&L is profit loss statement.
Yeah, so a P&L will show you what's coming in and what's going out, and your balance sheet will show you um, just the balance of your different
It's like a
accounts.
snapshot of that day, that time is what your balance sheet is. So if you do it
Yeah.
on a yearly basis, then you can compare, March 16th to March 16th of 2024 to March 16th of 2025, and that way you can see how healthy your business is going. Where a profit loss statement, you can have that once a month or once a quarter or once a year, and then that will give you kind of a bit of a clearer overview of where you're at from the past year to this year, whether you're making money or losing money, and where there might be a hole in the boat that you have to look. And I love the idea of, what you just said about, like, finding other revenue or other ways to make revenue within your business if there is a hole, and finding ways to make revenue might not be actually making money, it might be stopping spending.
I think for most of us, that's the biggest thing is we've spent too much. We've agreed to too many things. So, finding things that we can cut out now in our expenses, if you're struggling with your cash flow, or if you think you just need to make more money. And then also starting to look at things that maybe it's something you've, agreed to for a 5-year thing and figuring out what your plan will be when that agreement is done and then having a new plan so that you have, say, in 2 years, it'll be done. You can create a new situation where you're spending less every month on that one
Mhm.
thing. I think there's a lot of ways, a lot of small ways that we can cut down on expenses. And sometimes we really need to take the time to look at these factors and find how that affects our cash flow on a day-to-day basis with these bigger, longer term numbers.
And it might be something as simple as, like, your back bar, where you might look at, like, "I don't have $1,000 to spend on my back bar products, so I'm just gonna take off the retail shelf when I need shampoo and conditioner." And that,
Mhm.
yes, in the short term, that is a money saver, but if you're looking year over year, you're actually costing yourself so much money because if you can buy in liters, if you can buy in gallons, the cost saving's huge. Yes, the upfront, um payout is gonna be a large bill, but that is the only bill you're gonna get rather than dipping into your retail products every single time you need a product. And if the company that you use for your back bar doesn't supply or support you with the larger products, then maybe worth looking at a different company that does.
Yeah, and I mean, that might even be part of the plan too is maybe your business has changed or evolved in a different way, and maybe you need to do a whole change out. And sometimes, not that I would recommend too much to think big, high level of swapping out thousands of dollars for a new system, but maybe if it's within your budget, it long term, it is actually better.
Mhm,
So I think sometimes we get lost in thinking of our bank account as being our um day to day, sorry, our cash flow. But we actually need to look at both our long term expenses as well as our day to day cash flow because if you're struggling with the day to day, you probably actually have a long term problem and not a day to day problem.
and if this sounds like too much work or you don't even know where to start, there are some really good professionals out there. So I would talk to your accountant or your bookkeeper and really see if you can get a sit down with them for an hour or 2, or, there are some companies that will, like, really help educate. There's some accountants out there that does some good courses, and we even offer a course ourselves on understanding your numbers, a masterclass. And so there are a lot of courses out there that you can take. You just being aware that this isn't your strength is something that you need to come to terms with. But that's okay because your strength might lie in other places. So be honest with yourself. Is this something that you enjoy? Is this something that stresses you out? Because if it's stressing you out, you're better off to outsource this and focus your genius on what you're amazing at for running your business, and let somebody else worry about the numbers and somebody else tell you, "Hey, you're not, you need to cut back on this," or, "You know what? You're doing really well. Just keep focusing on this," and it will take the stress away. I think one of the biggest things that I'd love for the listener to really take away is lead your business and live your life from joy. Don't live it from fear. So if you're feeling
Mhm.
fearful, if you feel that gripping, if you feel that tightness in your chest, really ask yourself why or what it is and find somebody else to help you. And it's such a relief. It just makes things so much easier and better and makes you enjoy owning a business rather than stressed out all the time.
Yeah, and I mean that it just flows into so many other areas too. If
Yeah.
you're always stressed about money and always worrying about it and your team feels it and your clients feel it and everyone feels it. Okay. So, what do we do today? Mindset,
Mindset. A lot of mindset.
a lot of mindset. Think happy thoughts. Uh, imagine things being calm and fine and the more you do that, the more you put your energy there, the more it will flow there.
Mhm.
Whatever that saying is.
Energy
Um,
flows where focus goes.
there we go. We got it. um, what is cash flow versus what budget? Yeah.
And what's a profit loss statement
hmm
versus a balance sheet, and then we circled back to mindset again, so it's perfect.
We had a few systems in there.
Yeah. a couple systems.
Keep quick.
And if somebody who does want to know the way that I kind of have my rainy day method laid out, or any other systems, Alicia is our numbers gal. If you have any questions, reach out to her. If you have any questions about mindset or want to kind of know my systems, reach out to me or both of us. We'd love to hear from you. And
Yeah.
yeah,
We could also help you work on finding these problems as well as figuring out maybe there's other problems within the money part of your business, as well as other parts of your business, but speaking more specifically about money.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening in today. The Positive Image Podcast exists to empower hairstylists and salon owners with real conversations, practical tools, and authentic stories, building confidence, connection, and community in the beauty industry. Subscribe to stay tuned in for our next episode.